sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel & McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, we are back, we are live, and we are brand new. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in on a Monday morning. We're live from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department, where Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., they can service your vehicles. And don't forget the Toyota True Start batteries. They come with an 84-month warranty and a 24-month free replacement. So if your car needs a battery, bring it on out here to Bill Penny Toyota. They can help you, especially on these cold winter months and these cold winter days. You've heard the forecast for the next few days. It's going to be a little chilly.
Well, I'm going to need it. I'm already lining up something.
Yep, 40 degrees right now. Your high today is only 44.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow your high is 50, but your low is 30. So, I mean, it's a little chilly to start the work week, but
need to get the truckster in there.
Got to get something. You better get it going. Better get it going.
Yeah, Alabama better get their damn offense going, too.
Anyway, a lot of stuff going on. Well, I mean, you can take your pick on where you want to start, but the most obvious is that the final college football playoff rankings, and for the first time, the college football playoff bracket put out yesterday morning. And boy, oh boy, let me just say there was a lot of talk yesterday. There was no surprise that Indiana is your 1 seed, Ohio State is your 2, Georgia your 3, and Texas Tech your 4. Those are your 4 teams that received a bye.
Well, I will just, before you finish the rest of it, I was only slightly surprised. I thought once the Big Ten championship game played out the way it did, and
right.
IU beat overrated Ohio State,
right.
And right now they are overrated. They can still win the national championship, but the Pukes thought they were the best team in history. That's what I was hearing. It's the best football team it's ever been created.
Oh, they were walking around Indianapolis.
Oh, I trust me.
They were
I was
the
getting
kings
messages
of the world.
They were laughing at Indiana.
Yes.
You laughing now? What you laughing at? Because you had, Connor Talty's cousin kicking? Well, I can't help it because he at least Alabama's not the only one missing 20-yard field goals, okay? So they choked, they lost, and Indiana right now is the better football team, and Indiana is the best team in America.
Yes.
Now, I can say that now. I didn't believe in them until I watched them beat Oregon, and then and Tom Brew, who will be on with us later this morning in the top of the second hour, who was there covering it, told us he thought Indiana had a great shot and could win it, and they did. And so probably locks up the Heisman for, Fernando Mendoza, who had a really good game, solid game. Now, I don't know. I was told yesterday, and I don't pay attention to the odds, Scott. I know you're a voter too, right?
And by the way, I sent my
I know you
votes
don't
in this
reveal it.
morning. No, I cannot reveal it.
Right. You sent your votes.
I sent 3 votes in this morning.
You voted for 3.
You get to vote for 3. You vote for a first place, second place, and a third place. And so I just sent those in. By the way, they did not open until close to after. It was about 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central on Saturday is when the ballot actually opened, and you had 48 hours. And so you had until like 5 o'clock today to get your ballot in, or 4 o'clock today to get your ballot in.
An interesting thing I was told is that the Vegas odds had all of a sudden shifted to Diego Pavia, which I thought was very interesting.
Fernando Mendoza kind of snuck back in there.
Yeah, because they win. So I'm going to be interested to see how we could have a very close vote, because I don't think there's a slam dunk. Okay.
No, but look, and I'll just say that.
And Julian Sand and Jeremiah Smith are both great players, but I think the loss hurt them.
No, I'm going to say Fernando Mendoza. Yeah. Going into it, Diego Pavia had a lead because he was the most impressive performance against Tennessee and everything.
His overall numbers.
But the voters' beans at the ballot did not open until during those conference championship games.
After everything's done.
Everybody all those Heisman voters that were still on the edge had to watch the championship.
Early.
Right. Had to watch the championship game. And then you saw Fernando Mendoza do what he did against Ohio State. Yes, he didn't blow up the sky.
But they won.
But he guided them to something that they had never done before.
Which is kind of what Diego's done with with Vanderbilt. But Diego has a more.
But he wasn't playing on Saturday. That's the hard thing.
And I guess I need to look at both of their numbers. But I would think Diego has got more all-purpose yards and total yards. But I understand.
Yes.
Okay. So and what's interesting about those 2 young men, who are probably the top 2 candidates, is their transfer portal guys.
Yes.
But again, what I was going to say, and you can reveal the rest of the top 12, is I told Steve Moulton, because he asked me to predict my entire top 12 before they announced it. I would have had, of course, Indiana 1. I would have had Georgia 2, because the way they won the SEC championship, and I would have only dropped Ohio State to 3. But instead, as we know, they went 1 and 2 with Ohio State and Indiana, Georgia 3, and then Texas Tech 4. So I had those as the top 4. I just had a slightly different order. But you can go ahead.
So those were, no surprise, right?
No.
Everybody's
top
feeling
4
good.
Was pretty easy.
Everybody feeling good across the country. Boom, no big deal. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think there was any big deal about having Oregon number 5.
I had them 5, yes.
And having Texas A&M in there as well. And having Ole Miss host as well. No big deal there, right?
And I had all those the same. I had Ole Miss 6, Texas A&M 7, Oklahoma 8, and then here's where I had this. I think they got it right.
Okay, but this is where
go ahead.
This is where you put your seatbelt on.
Right.
This is where you say, this is where you say, ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready to experience some turbulence, and you may want to stay
sticking her head in the toilet.
and you may want to buckle up, because this is where it gets bumpy.
Yeah.
Real bumpy across not just in the South, but across the country. This is where it's going to get bumpy, folks.
Right.
Alabama 9, you have Miami 10, you've got Tulane 11, and James Madison 12.
And see, here's where Steve, when he asked me for the rest of my rankings, like I told you, I pretty much was in lockstep with the committee, except what I thought the committee would do. This is how I would have ranked them exactly like they did, from the standpoint of Oregon 5, Ole Miss 6, Texas A&M 7, Oklahoma 8, and I would have put Alabama 9, but I thought they would put them at 10, quite frankly. And then I thought Notre Dame would be 9, and then it would be Bama 10, and then Tulane and James Madison. But my rankings personally, because I didn't think James Madison deserved to be there.
Right, correct.
I was pissed because I thought, when they first put these rules together, the Pac-12 existed. But once the Pac-12, disintegrated, I thought, they tweaked some things after year 1. they should have tweaked some things after year two. Going into year two, they should have said it was only the top, the power four that got represented. In other words, you take one of each, at least one each from the the power four, and then James Madison, who had no business being in, wouldn't have been in. And I would have had Alabama 9, Miami 10 because they beat Notre Dame, then Notre Dame 11, and then Tulane 12. But we all know what happened. They the committee put Miami and Notre Dame side by side, and then Miami should win out because they won because they beat them head to head. And I laughed at Notre Dame and laughing again. Ha ha! You've gotten breaks your entire life. So, you're not in a conference, get in a conference. You basically played in the ACC, but I was laughing at them. But at the same time, I also said, and I say it here today, as I said it on the recap show, the Bama recap show, they should have been in.
Notre Dame?
Yes. They should have been in as 11, in my opinion. They deserve to be in. They should only be one group of 6, and that should be Tulane. And people want to say they shouldn't even have the group of 6. It should be the 12 best teams. I understand that. But to get a deal done, you're going to have to throw a bone to the group of 6.
Yes.
They're never going to ratify.
Unless you completely break away and have them have their own national championship game.
Like a group of 6 national championship. But I just don't think that's ever going to happen.
Division 1, Division 2.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you split it up and have another sole division.
Like a Division 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You've got to let them have a seat to play a game. Not 2, but at least 1. Or
if you just combine, the FCS programs and the group of 6.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
Okay. So you have to give them representation. So to me, Tulane has the best resume. They should be in, but Notre Dame should have been 11. Okay, to me, they should have been in. They should have been 11. I understand. I'm still laughing at you because I hate you, but I'm just telling you. You can record this. I did say you should have been in.
Look,
even though I love pukes like Nicole Auerbach having to just continually post crap because she's so upset that the Golden Dome isn't in it.
Even the Grinch had a heart. All right. Here was the college football play yesterday during the teleconference. Obviously, Brett Uramark was hammered with questions concerning Alabama, Miami, and Notre Dame.
Hunter, I was wondering what was the committee's discussion around putting Alabama at 9 versus leaving them at 10, and where you have Miami ranked, and what was the comparison there that ultimately led to that decision?
I think a couple of things really stood out to us over the last 24 hours as we compared Alabama to both Notre Dame and Miami. Alabama's schedule strength was the highest of any team in the top 11, and also their win at Georgia, 24-21, early this season, arguably the best win for any team. And they also had a win against Vanderbilt, and then previous win at Missouri and Tennessee, both who have been ranked in our top 25 for various points this year.
So that was the comparison that's what separated Alabama from Notre Dame and Miami. Yeah. According to the committee, there was the fact that
I agree with that because they played somebody. Okay, yes. That has to matter. And Alabama had one more loss than both those teams. Okay, but again, they had the best win. They beat Georgia, and they did have a bad loss to Florida State. But here's the thing: to be honest, I think that's canceled out by who Miami and Notre Dame played. Okay. They played a weak-ass ACC schedule.
Okay.
All right? And then and Miami had losses to Louisville, and I know they blew that, and SMU. Both of them were decent, not great. Neither one of them, to me, were college football playoff caliber teams. Alabama lost to Oklahoma, who's in the damn college football playoff.
Should Alabama, though, have been penalized at all? I'm just asking this. Should they have been penalized at all from their performance in the SEC title game?
I don't think you should, because they sure as hell didn't count it when SMU lost a close one to Clemson and put SMU's sad sack ass in.
That was a close one.
Yeah, I know, but Alabama, and I do think Alabama was beat to heck. And I think they tried to compete. And, they did drop a couple of touchdowns. It could have made it. They weren't going to win regardless. It could have made it 28-14, 28-20, whatever. But Georgia was the better team. But I just think I think injuries have to be taken into account. I'm sorry, they do. They were taken into account when Kenyon Martin in Cincinnati still got a 1 seed, even though he got hurt and didn't play in the NCAA tournament. I think Alabama was banged up, but I think they played in the toughest league in the country. You put Miami or you put Notre Dame in the SEC, their asses aren't even in consideration because they lose 4 or 5 games, in my opinion. Okay. They're not even in consideration for the playoff because they couldn't hang. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's a fact. I mean, and what these national media morons don't want to bring up is the fact that Notre Dame is basically an ACC team because they play an ACC schedule.
Right.
So that's got to matter. And then in the end, it has to matter that that Miami beat Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame may be playing better right now, blah, 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 but they beat them early in the year. Okay, it's just like Alabama. The one thing you could use against Alabama is they did, lose to Florida State. Would I have been shocked? Because trust me, you know how many questions I got Saturday night. Well, they played terrible. They didn't play good. They lost 28-7. Are they going to get in or out? I kept saying, I think they'll sneak in.
Well, would the committee put them at number 9 going into the SEC?
I thought they would drop them back
games.
to 10.
But the committee has never dropped anybody more than 4 spots. They've never dropped anybody 3 or more spots after losing a conference title game.
Yeah.
So when they put Alabama at number 9, even if it didn't go well, and it didn't go well, there was no way they were going to put them 10, 11, or 12 because of them putting it at 9. They put them at 9 going into the championship week. I think they're for that reason.
Well, because Notre Dame always gets breaks, and they can sit there and try to say they don't, but then they're lying through their teeth.
Yes.
At least the people that cover them and support them. I just think overall, I thought they would drop Alabama 1 spot and move Notre Dame up. I thought they would pick Notre Dame over Miami, even though Miami had beaten them, which I thought was stupid. I'll give the committee credit, and I know they got a lot of criticism. Well, then why didn't you do it from the jump? Why did you wait? Well, they waited, but they still got it right. Miami beat Notre Dame, okay? So they should be in and be ranked ahead of Notre Dame. That's why I said Notre Dame should have been 11. They should have been 11, but they weren't because they let them pass some stupid rule to get the top 5 conference champions. But Notre Dame's already taken care of that because next year they have a rules provision that's coming in. If they're in the top 12, they're automatically in. That's why I can't stand them because the maggots won't join a conference, but they've always got to have some kind of rule to get them in there so they can still lose and not win anything since 1988.
All right,
we're even looking at these maggots on the TV right now here in Huntsville, Alabama. We got to look at these pukes run and beat Rutgers. Well, whoop-de-damn-do.
We got to get a break in. I know the phone lines are full, and as expected, we will get out to the phone lines. We will get to you guys after this quick timeout. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. we show up.
Does it really matter which dealership you buy from? Short answer, yes it does. Hello, I'm Don Wessels for Woody Anderson Ford. Before you buy, take just a minute to check out the dealership itself, because where you buy can make all the difference. Sure, customer reviews tell you what others think, and that's good. But when Ford Motor Company itself recognizes a dealer, that's something special. Woody Anderson Ford has earned Ford's Triple Crown Award, an honor achieved by only the top 1% of Ford dealers in America. It's based on superior customer satisfaction, sales excellence, and exceptional service performance. In other words, the best of the best. So when you're ready for your next car, truck, or SUV, come see how we earned our Triple Crown status. Superior service, sales excellence, over-the-top delivery, that's Woody Anderson Ford. And we hope to see you soon.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
The Tom Abraham Show, weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Court is in session.
Yes, court is in session. The verdict is in. Indeed, we've got the college football playoff bracket, and I guess you could call this your good, the bad, the ugly from the college football playoff bracket announcement. And as you might expect, the phone line's filling up this morning. Let's go out there. Let's get as many in as we can. Let's get Phil in on the phone lines this morning. Good morning, Phil.
Morning, Phil.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Know this.
Yeah.
What I'm about to say is coming from my disgust at the college football league that calls itself running a national championship. Okay. That's where I'm coming from. So don't take this personally. When you put 5 SEC teams in the national championship, of which there are 5 conferences, guess what? There's a lot better opportunity for the SEC to win another national championship. You called the ACC ass. You know, comparatively, they are ass compared to the SEC. You know why that is? Because the SEC, a minute little part of America, gets half of their players from everywhere else in America, the elite of the elite, because their goal is to go to the NFL. Nothing wrong with that. But guess what? You got a lot better shot if you move from Virginia and go play at an SEC team, because you're going to be in the alleged, supposed national championship. It's not even a national championship. This is a farce. And the SEC sits around and strokes each other off and pats each other on the back on how freaking great they are. And they are great. They are way more dominant than any other conference in college football. There's no doubt about it. But the reason is they are unfairly given opportunities to be national champions above all the other conferences. College football has got to fix this. If they want America, all of America, to tune in and give a rat's ass, they need to level this field out. It's asinine. You got 5 conferences, you got 12 spots, and 5 teams are in the SEC? Dude,
What 5 conferences are there? The SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12. You got 4 conferences.
Mm-hmm.
What's your 5th conference?
Oh, I don't. Hey,
what's your 5th No, you said multiple times now. There's 5 conferences out there. Give me the 5.
Okay, then there's 4 conferences. Why in God's name are there not 3 teams from each conference in the national college football playoff?
So what are you going to do with the group of 5? Explain to me how you don't include them then.
Again, you're talking Japanese to me. I'm an NFL guy.
Okay. So then you obviously don't understand this.
I try very hard to get involved in college football. I find myself scratching my head going, why am I watching this garbage? It's not fair. It's a unbalanced. It's crap. Nobody's saying the SEC. I'm not saying the SEC does. That's not what I'm saying. They are by far the most dominant. There's no doubt about it. But the reason it's oh God, I've called Tom's show and I've told Tom this 100 times. The NFC and the NFL won 13 straight Super Bowls. At no point does the NFL go, well, let's put 2 NFC teams in the Super Bowl. Nobody's going to beat the SEC or the Big Ten, which the Big Ten really only has 2 teams that are worth crap, but they're really good universities, really good football teams. But it's just, dude, when you put 5 out of 12 SEC teams, guess what? The SEC has a really good opportunity to be the next national championship.
Yep,
and the kid from Virginia and the kid from everywhere else across the country, the best of the best of the best, are going to go to the SEC.
Yep. All right, Phil, thanks for your phone call as well. We got to get to as many of them. Yeah, we move on here in the mornings. All right, let's go to Bryce on the phone lines. Good morning, Bryce.
Thank you, Bryce. Please take away my headache.
You need to go wherever that guy's at and send a straitjacket over there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know who he is, and he's he's an NFL guy. I think he loves the Dallas Cowboys, and that's whatever. That I have friends that are Cowboys fans, and but look, man, but I know what he wants. What he wants is 4 from the SEC, 4 from the Big Ten. He wants, like they do in the NFC, like there's a certain number of teams every year.
Is the college football playoff
card,
system
division champions, and all this stuff?
Is the college football playoff system perfect? No, it's not. Does it need to be tweaked? Probably. No. Yes, it does. Do we have all the answers? No. But this is what we have.
And again, the NFL is a great game, but I like college football for the differences. And I'm sorry, I can't help it that the SEC is the dominant league and everybody wants to play in it. That's not the SEC's problem. And we love football down here. We support it. And if they don't support it in other places, that's their problem.
Yep.
Go ahead, Bryce.
Hey, guys, real quick. What bowl game who was they supposed to play when they opted out of the bowl game?
You talking about Notre Dame? I don't know. I never really saw the projections. Scott,
what they wanted was, the feeling was that Notre Dame and BYU would meet up in a bowl game in Florida. There was somewhere in Florida. It was a bowl game in Florida, and I forget the name of the bowl, but I think it was the Gator Bowl.
The Gator Bowl.
They wanted Notre Dame, and they were trying to get BYU, and they would have had a top 25 matchup between Notre Dame and BYU in the bowl game.
Yeah, see, I wondered if they were. I'm there with the bowl tie-ins. I would have loved to have seen Notre Dame and Vanderbilt, but that's probably that may not have been possible.
Or Texas, I just figured
Texas is playing Michigan, which is a pretty good matchup. Go Horns.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking it was probably because they didn't want to get their ass embarrassed and handed to them by another SEC team, which they have. I mean, in my personal opinion, Notre Dame shouldn't get in until they join a conference. If they don't want to join a conference and play by the rules, they're no better than anybody else. And why should they get in until they join a conference? Iowa State got fined $500,000 because they didn't accept the bowl bid from the Big 12.
Yeah,
Yes,
Kansas
so did
State,
Kansas State as well.
and Iowa State both were fined by the conference.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, if Notre Dame was in the conference, that would have happened to them. But the NCAA has not got any balls, and I don't know if they could find them. But
no, because and Bryce, you bring up that point, and just so that people know that when it comes to bowl games and when it comes to this college football national championship, the NCAA has zero say in how things are done because the NCAA does not. So college basketball, the basketball tournament itself is ran by the NCAA. They run everything with the college basketball tournament. The NCAA does nothing with the college football playoffs, the college football tournament, the bowl games, etc. They do nothing with the bowl games.
All right. Well, okay. Well, it's just that I thought they should get fined for not accepting the bowl bids.
Right.
But Notre Dame, since they're independent, they can't do nothing to them. But
Nope.
I'm so glad. It's like Christmas come early for me, guys, them not getting in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to feel sorry for them. I think they should have been in, but boo-hoo-hoo. I mean, if it came down to Miami and Notre Dame, and that's what it came down to, the simple fact is Miami beat them. If Notre Dame had won, they would have been in, and they would have had a chance to compete for a national championship, but they didn't have a chance this year. Alabama, they lost to Oklahoma last year and had to sit at home. So I'm sorry, but you didn't play anybody, and you lost the two biggest games, which was Miami and Texas A&M by a combined 4 points. Boo-hoo-hoo. You lost. And so go home, regroup, and come back next year and lose again.
Yeah, hey, Drew, I heard you girl this morning.
Good.
On ESPN. They were
Who,
whining
Dimwit?
and crying over there. Yeah, the show before y'all come on. Oh, they were whining and crying about their Golden Dome.
Oh, I know. They all are.
Hilarious, Drew. I thought about you when I was listening to it. They were whining and crying.
Well, just tell them 3 more years. It's 3 more years to 40, Bryce. 3 more years to 40. I'm counting it down.
Well, hey, there's nobody dislikes Notre Dame. I hate to use that word, hate, but
I don't.
dislikes Notre Dame no more than I do.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks
Bryce.
for the phone call, Bryce.
Brother.
All right, 7:31. We've got to get a break in here. I know the phone lines are filling up. We're getting to you as fast as we can. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll go right back out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. Partly sunshine expected for this Monday. We'll see high temperatures only warm into the mid and upper 40s for the afternoon. Heading into Monday night, we drop below freezing. Upper 20s expected for the overnight. We'll continue to sit under a partly cloudy sky.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the play.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The holidays are here, and so is the holiday pizzazz at Loring & Company Fine Jewelers. At Loring & Company, they know this season is all about family, time, and meaningful connections. And when it comes to finding that perfect gift, they make it easy, enjoyable, and unforgettable. Step into a sparkling world of the world's most desired jewelry brands, all in one place. Their friendly, experienced staff is ready to help you discover something extraordinary. Whether you're shopping for a spouse, a parent, a child, or treating yourself to a little festive shine, finding the right gift doesn't have to be stressful. At Loring & Company Fine Jewelers, it's a pleasure. They'll help you choose a piece that says exactly what you want it to say, beautifully. This holiday season, let the Loring family welcome you into theirs.
Visit Loring & Company Fine Jewelers at 800 Airport Road in Huntsville and shop anytime at loringjewelers.com. Add a little holiday pizzazz to your celebrations at Loring & Company Fine Jewelers. At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Let's go back out to the phone lines. Let's get these phone calls in on Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Justin is with us this morning. Good morning, Justin.
Hey guys, how are y'all?
We're doing pretty good, man. We got Philip out of the way.
I'll bet any amount of money you voted for Kamala.
Somebody already sent that message in.
I used to think Jeff from the Borough was the worst caller that ever called into this show, but that one right there trumped everything I've ever heard in all my life. My daughter, I was dropping her off at school, and she said, "This is the dumbest guy I've ever heard in my life."
I love it.
But,
He's such a curmudgeon, man.
Know anything about football, but anyway. But I'll tell you what I would do in these teams that are declining bowl bids, and especially those whiny Catholics up in South Bend. Since the NCAA doesn't govern the college football playoff or the bowls, here's what I would do, and I'm serious as a heart attack. These teams that want to decline bowl bids whenever they don't get their way and they take their ball and go home, if I was the CFP or I would enforce a 2-year bowl ban or a 2-year CFP ban on anybody that decides that they want to decline their bowl bids because they don't get their way.
Yeah, now Notre Dame should be in that equation. But now here's the thing with Iowa State. And Iowa State's going through a coaching change.
And Kansas State, too.
And
they
Kansas
both went
State
through,
going through coaching
changes
and everything. Now, yeah.
But I get their point why they did it. But Notre Dame literally, they acted like a kid on the playground that didn't get picked to play in a ball game. And they said, he said, this is my football, so I'm just going to take it, and it can't nobody play.
Yep. No, you're right there. Notre Dame's the one I have a problem with big time.
I thought about Notre Dame playing BYU, but I would have liked to have seen Notre Dame play Vanderbilt. I think it would have been a fascinating matchup, and I would have been rooting for Diego to dance all over him.
Absolutely. And, it's absolutely unbelievable that
and you don't think – Go ahead, Justin. I apologize. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, I don't understand. And then what's even worse, and the minute they don't get elected, they already get some kind of ruling put in. Hey, well, if you put us in the top 12, you have to put us in the playoffs then. How is that? How is what? I mean, does Notre Dame literally move the needle that much? Obviously, in my opinion, they can't move it that much, or else they would have probably been in this playoff regardless.
Yeah.
How can you let a team do something like? I mean, that's just absolutely insane.
Well, it's because of their TV money that they generate. And here's the thing that would have been fascinating. I'm telling you, if Notre Dame played Vandy with Diego, you would have sold it out. There would have been a ton of tickets sold. Everybody would have wanted to see it. It would have been great for television. But, of course, Notre Dame, that's why I hate them. And, yes, hate, I don't care. I will use the word I want to use. I mean, that's why I can't stand them, because they do stuff like that. Well, we're too good to play a Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? Because we're so good. We haven't won anything since most of these Americans have been born. But because it's been 37 years since we won a national championship. So most of the people that saw it, they maybe when there's some 30 plus year olds in their early 40s, whatever, they were 3 or 4 or 5 years old when we won it. But most of these, especially the millennial generation, they haven't seen Notre Dame do anything. But we're going to take our ball and go home. That's why I can't stand Notre Dame. And I agree with Bryce. They should be in a conference. It should have already changed where join the Big Ten, go wherever you need to go. I don't want them in the SEC because I don't think they want the smoke either. The SEC would love to have their brand name, but I'll just tell you this, Notre Dame they don't want none of the SEC because then they never win anything.
Well, all I know is this, being an Alabama fan, I feel like even if we don't win the national championship or whatever, it's been a great year. Alabama beat Tennessee, Alabama beat Auburn, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Alabama beat Notre Dame too.
That's pretty cool.
So it's been a great year. But you guys have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
And Courtland, what you were saying, Drew, so Notre Dame does not have an absolute playoff guarantee, but they do now have a special arrangement for the new 12-team college football playoff that if they are ranked inside the top 12, they are assured a spot even as an independent, and they will now be eligible for a first-round bye. Previously, they were not eligible for a first-round bye. They could only go up to 5. So now, going next year, if they're ranked inside the top 12, they get a spot in. They don't get bumped at number 11 or number 12. Let's continue. Let's get with Jacob on the phone. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
Good.
We're doing well, sir. How are you?
Man, doing well, Drew. To me, y'all, it's simple. You're a dumb, like Drew says, explained it pretty good, and I get it. Okay. So you have everybody's going, why didn't they do the head all year long? It's because when Miami lost those 2 games, it took them below Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Then towards the end, when everything got towards the end, they had to put the head-to-head matchup, which was overall. I mean, they put all the 2 compared the 2. They were just about exactly the same in all categories. So the head-to-head, to me, that's simple. I don't understand why everybody's, and last year, you can't set the precedent, like everybody keeps saying, you can't set the precedent that you play in the SEC championship game or any championship game. Therefore, you're not going to be punished. And then now this year, everybody, just because it's big, bad Alabama, everybody wants to flip the script and say that, you can punish a team just because they got beat. And I knew when they started losing, we're hit with injuries, and we did get our butts whipped.
We did.
We did. We whipped their butt once. They whipped our butt once.
Yep.
I don't understand
Georgia
what the
won.
big deal is.
Yep. Yeah. And Georgia was beat up too. Georgia won the game. They were the better team. They outcoached Alabama. They won it.
Exactly.
I got no problem saying it. I mean, 2 out of 2 and 10 ain't bad. That's what they are against Alabama in the last 12. But they won this one, and the 2 they won were very important. They won a national championship and an SEC title. So I give it to Georgia. They're the better team right now. Alabama's got to heal up and see if they can beat Oklahoma. I'm not even worried about.
One more thing.
Go ahead, man.
I'm sorry. I finished that thought.
Yeah.
Let me finish my thought. Okay. Listen.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
I said this the other day during the game, and it's not no hate to Ty. I love Ty. I appreciate everything he's done this year. But it's like Nick Saban had the balls in the national championship game to take, to switch and put 2 in. I was saying this during the game the other day. When Ty, everything was going bad, to me, I know you don't throw a freshman in there, against one of the top defenses, top teams in the country. But what would it have hurt right then when Ty was struggling, the offense was struggling, to throw in a Keelan or Austin just not saying that, Ty, we're going away from you, but just throwing in.
Alabama couldn't run the football, so there's a lot on Ty Simpson, and let's put it this way. I don't think you're going to put Keelan Russell in this situation or Austin Mack and beat Georgia.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I just don't see that.
Well, you're also asking a lot from your running backs who, by the way, at the beginning of the year, you were not counting on them to be in the SEC championship game and have to block for Georgia's protection in there. I mean, it's really tough. And Alabama did a lot during the week to get those guys ready.
Yeah.
At the running back spot to pick up the Georgia protection and everything. But
it's been a struggle. I mean,
you're putting inexperience out there.
Here's the deal. Moment. And I know a lot of those guys were freshmen when Tua got in there.
Yeah.
But I just think right now, and some people don't want to hear it, but Alabama is not as talented as those Tide teams were in the past. They're kind of maxing out what they've got.
Right.
And they're so banged up right now, especially in the backfield. And then everybody clamored for A.K. Deer, okay? And I think he's a talented kid. But it was obvious that he was in over his head. He was going the wrong way. He was dropping passes. Again, Ty has struggled for a month. I understand that. He has not played at his high level. But I don't think his supporting cast has been great either. Need a sack. He dropped another touchdown, okay? And then even late in the game, even though it was kind of tipped, Jeremy Bernard dropped one. You got to make plays, man. I didn't think Ty was great by any stretch, but watching the highlights and stuff, he made some bad throws, but he also made some throws that've got to be caught, okay? And especially in a game like that against that caliber of opponent who's elite. And Georgia's elite. They made the plays to beat them the first time. They didn't make them this time. Both teams were beat up. Georgia whipped their ass. Period. End of story. And and again, that's just the way it is. Salute to Georgia. They get a chance to make a run at a title. I'm not sure they're good enough to win it either, but certainly we'll see. I don't think Alabama is, but can they beat Oklahoma? Yes, if they're healthy enough, I think they can. I don't like the matchup with Indiana. Indiana is extremely good, and I'm looking forward to hearing from Tom Brew here soon.
All right, we got to get a break in. When we come back, we'll get back out to the phone lines. It's just full of conversation this morning, as rightfully so. Bama Bino, Bama Big Rick. We'll get to you as soon as we get back from break. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 256-202-4200. That's 256-202-4200.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
Welcome to Kern Electrical, where teamwork powers every project. Our champion sales team takes time to understand your needs, tailoring the perfect Generac generator for your home or business. Our project managers handle all coordination, ensuring a tackle-free installation. Our certified installation crews ensure peace of mind, even in the darkest moments. With our service and maintenance lineups, you can be assured we're with you every step of the way. Experience the home team advantage of Kern Electrical, your Generac superstore.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
We keep on and keeping on. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's go out to the phone lines this morning, 256-576-4977. Good morning. Who we got this morning?
It's Bama Bino.
What up,
Hey,
Bino?
Bama Bino. What's up, bud?
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, hey guys, love your show. You know, I always say the best show anywhere around or anywhere, period. I'm going to stick to the subject we're talking about, college football, okay? But I want to make a local note. A guy that goes to church with us here at Burton Church at Sylvania, his grandson is Mac Long, that won that 10th grade quarterback that for Coosa Christian that beat Lynette Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known him. Jerry Carlisle was first white fullback at A&M with Stalworth in the early 70s, and coached football for Madison County, Geraldine, Fultondale, a bunch of places. But that's a church friend, a family friend that I've known all my life. Grandson, his mother Jordana, I remember when she was born, but Wes Long and all those, they own Winslow's Oyster Bar in Garnersville and the Hampton Inn and all that. Anyway, that's his grandson, Mac, that they moved to Gadsden to let him play there because he didn't get a good shake at Garnersville. But anyway, I don't know what limited time I got. Ty, I know, he's regressed some, but I think a few weeks ago he saw he was going to have to, it's all on his shoulder. He wasn't getting no help from the sideline. And, he didn't have time to do much and didn't have no help in the run game. If you look at look on his face, even on TV, you could see it. And look on Grubb's face. You could see uncertainty from a lot of people. They showed their face. He's overwhelmed. And when, I know a lot of people say execution. He didn't execute a lot of times. But if you take those, the throw right in the numbers to Bernard, and then Williams drops one, you've got a 28-21 game. And then you give them two short fields with a block punt. And, I can understand if you want to be ballsy and go for it, but that's awful deep. But you call a play like that to throw a 40-yard pass to gain 2 yards on a 4th and 2 inside the 15. I'm not seeing a lot of another word for coaching is teaching. I'm not seeing a lot of teaching progress. You do that in the spring, you do it in the summer, fall, early fall camp. I'm not seeing fundamentals being taught and common sense. And, one more quick thing. Brandon picked up on what I was talking about, and now it's a blueprint on the internet. If you want to beat Alabama, you stack the box and you string the play out, because if they're on the right hash, they're going to go right. And it's on the internet. Oklahoma gave us a blueprint of what to do to beat Alabama. You blitz the quarterback, and when they run, you string the play out like defensive ends used to do, string the play out and get help over, because they never go to the wide side of the field. They go to the short side of the field. It's a 53-yard wide field and 100 yards long. And you could run every play that he runs just about it, unless they happen to have it on the center of the field when they take the ball over. You could call them in my living room if you do a GPS tracker. I mean, they know it's going to the right and they're going to the sideline. And the sideline makes the tackle. Because Derrick Henry couldn't do any better with the help. I mean, unless he breaks the back of some of his blockers and runs right through them down the sideline. I mean, there's just no creativity in calling. And getting cute every now and then with some of these reverses, that's not really creative. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think Ty's got too much on his shoulders, and we know he can do better than that, but he needs to have a little help. And
Agreed.
We've got to get an offensive line some way, because you're not going to win in Pee-wees all the way to the NFL without winning in the trenches, and I've never heard of a team doing it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bama Bino, thanks for the phone call, bud. Thanks for the phone call.
Thank you, man.
I love you, buddy. All right, let's get to Bama Big Rick as well this
What's
morning.
up, Rick?
Good morning. I got a couple quick notes.
Sure.
First of all, we don't know if Ty Simpson is making the right adjustments at the line. You know, who's coming, who's not. Maybe he's not saying it clear. We can't keep blaming these on the coaches. Some of it's the players. Offensive line, wide receivers dropping balls. Crazy. I don't understand why we don't run wide anyway. We always run up the middle. I told my buddy yesterday, when the Georgia game, the first couple plays, I said, we're going to lose because we came out conservative, running the ball. I said, that's setting a bad tone. You got to open the thing up. I'm over that game. We're out to the playoffs. Now, these Notre Dame fans, I lived in Indianapolis for 20 years. I hear all this crying. But where in America can you not be in a conference and make a playoff?
That's true.
It's not one sport. No. So there's money. Money is being exchanged somewhere. Then you go sign this I didn't mean to correct, this dumb agreement where that you can be in the top 12 or 13 and make the playoffs. Now, Drew, flip over, if you get a chance today, look at Notre Dame's schedule next year.
Oh, I know. We've already been talking about it off the air. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, that is, man, come on. Is it about ratings or is it about football? Simple.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
They're trying to hand themselves a championship. Hopefully it'll backfire when they face some competition in the playoff, and I can laugh at them again.
Right. Now, this is my last note here.
Sure.
I know it sounds crazy. Bama's going to be in Atlanta. Mark my words. I'm going to keep calling for the next couple of weeks. They will beat IU. I watched that game the other night. Ohio State is not the Ohio State either. They're not the one from last year. The running game is not there. That defense is not. So they beat them, right. But you see Ohio State made mistakes. They still should have won the game. So maybe Texas exposed them earlier because Texas outperformed Ohio State. Julian Sand is a game manager. I'm glad he's gone. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Well, they got to get through Oklahoma first.
Yeah, got to
get through Oklahoma on the road.
And much like Kirby was 0-2 against DeBoer until Saturday, you know, DeBoer's 0-2 against Venables. So got to beat OU.
All right, but they got to get healthy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can get healthy in a week. Can you get Josh Cuevas back?
Well, you get
a week?
You get really 2 weeks, honestly. But
that's true. I mean, it's because it's not till the
Cuevas
19th.
I have doubts about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got Cuevas, Jam Miller.
Jam, I could see, you know, and then I have a lot of doubts because of his medical situation of LT Overton. It's praying for him, but it's just something's out of his control.
And can you get Ryan Williams to catch a football?
Looking forward to hearing from Tom Brew.
He's got
in just a few minutes.
From Indiana's perspective, he'll hold on to it for us.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Alabama Crimson Tide will take on Oklahoma at Memorial Stadium in Norman on December the 19th in the first round of the college football playoff. The Crimson Tide 25-1 to win the national title, a 1.5 favorite to beat Oklahoma with a total of 41.5. The winner moves on to meet Indiana in the Rose Bowl. The Hoosiers are plus 250, the second choice behind the favorite Ohio State Buckeyes to win the national title. The Buckeyes are plus 240. Troy and Jacksonville State meet in the Salute to Veterans Bowl, the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama on Tuesday, December the 16th. Troy, the 3-point favorite over the Gamecocks, 51.5 the total. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives, helping us jumpstart our number 2, sportsmedalabama.com. You can also find them, or you can give them a call, 256-881-5151. If you want to experience the SportsMed difference, SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. Don't forget, they are also the official medical providers of the UAH Chargers, and UAH in prime season right now. They are in conference play. They went 1-1 over the weekend, won at West Florida, dropped a heartbreaker to Valdosta, but they are back at SportsMed Arena on Thursday, and so will 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Trevecca Nazarene in town, and they will be taking on UAH, and we'll have that one for you. College football playoff rankings and the first bracket, the only bracket coming out yesterday, and a lot of consternation there between 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Nothing with the number 1 seed, the Indiana Hoosiers. No argument there. They did what they had to do inside Lucas Oil Field, took down Ohio State, and boy, oh boy, could not be a sweeter feeling, I bet, for the Hoosiers than to set aside some arrogance there from Ohio State.
Well, I don't think anybody from Ohio State's laughing at Indiana now.
No,
and certainly we were all Hoosiers this weekend. I certainly was, and got a chance to watch a lot of that game on the bus on the way back, and it was what you would expect. It was a heavyweight fight. It was Ali Frazier, but Indiana made the plays, and then Ohio State choked. I mean, as far as the the field goal goes, not to say Indiana still wouldn't have won the game, but again, game pressure. Indiana applied game pressure. Ohio State cracked. I give Kirk Cignetti and his staff a ton of credit.
Right.
I doubted them going into this year about stacking seasons, but they've stacked it. They're better. And right now they're the unquestioned number 1 seed. I don't question it. They're undefeated. And what they've done against Oregon, who's the 5 seed, who they just dominated, in my opinion, on the road. And then what they've done to beat Ohio State and Indianapolis. And we're going to go now to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. He was there for this history. His column is outstanding. You need to check it out via Roundtable Sports Indiana. And it's Tom Brew, and we've gotten the chance to know him over the last several years and build a relationship. And he's been very kind to join us after this historic win, the first outright Big Ten title since 1945. They won a share in 1967. And if you read his piece, he's able to weave all this together in a big time way, and how historic this is for Indiana, this athletic department. Not just it's a basketball school, but this football program. What Kurt Signetti has done is unprecedented, and we welcome Tom back to the show. Tom, good morning. I know it was a great weekend.
It absolutely was. It was certainly a very long day on Saturday with a basketball game too that afternoon. But
Yes,
it was just a great day for Indiana's fan base. Just to be able to not only just simply enjoy just playing in the first ever Big Ten championship game for the school, but then just to hang in there and you said it exactly right. It felt like a heavyweight fight. It was a very physical game right from the first play of the game when Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback, got literally knocked out on the first play of the game and came right back in. And I think what Indiana proved the most throughout that game was just how good their defense is. I mean,
no question.
Ohio State's offensive line is very good. They'd only allowed 6 sacks all year, and Indiana had 5 on Saturday night. 9 tackles for loss, constant pressure on Julian Sand. He got hit 3 times in the first 10 plays, and then he was rattled. He was on his toes, and threw an interception early too that Indiana converted into points. And their Indiana's defense was just flat out terrific. And Ohio State receivers, I don't think there's any question they're both first round draft picks and going to be great pros. And Indiana, for the most part, kept them in check. And they 50 yards on a Hail Mary in the last play of the game was irrelevant. And other than that, Indiana basically held them to 200 plus yards all night long, and only 56 yards of rushing. And they really kept their Ohio State running game completely in check. It was just a great game by Indiana's defense, and they made enough plays themselves on offense to pull it out.
Yeah, Tom, and that's the thing. I think when people think of Indiana, in order for them to take that next step, even last year, I mean, it was the defense that everybody said, okay, if that defense can get just a little bit better, then we'll start. I don't want to say take Indiana seriously, but we will think of them as the next level, take it to a chance to possibly win a national title. And that defense on Saturday, I think, changed a lot of people's perception of Indiana.
There's no question about it, because it's. I think people, if you watch that game closely, like last year, obviously a tremendous year for Indiana, 11 wins in school for the first time in school history. But the 2 games they lost, to the national champion Ohio State and the national runner-up Notre Dame, in both games where they lost, they just could not handle in the trenches late in the game when they got worn out. They had very limited depth on both lines, and it wore out over time. And Ohio State and Notre Dame were just better last year, not by a lot, but they were better. Well, this year they've matched that. They were without question the more physical team at Oregon, and Oregon's 11-1. They only lost to Indiana. They did that. Playing at Iowa is never easy, and they, mostly because Iowa's offensive line is, there's 6 Iowa defensive line guys in the pros. I mean, those battles, and they won those too, and and they just literally dominated everybody else. They have top 5 level offensive lines and defensive lines now in the country, which they could never say before, and now they've done it. And they have the ability to do all that right now, and they can just line up and fight with people whenever they need to. But then they also have a quarterback who can throw picture perfect passes to guys and convert 7 third downs, 5 in the second half to close out a game when they have to. And they have all of it. There's no real flaws to this Indiana football team, which is hard for me to even fathom after 67 years of watching.
Well, and then I thought they fought through adversity too, because people aren't really talking about it. But Indiana missed a first half field goal that was very makeable, and yet they stayed the course.
Right, and that was the only kick Nico Radishes had missed all year. And he was, he was coming into the game. He was 14 for 14 on field goals, and 70 for 70 on extra points. He had never missed all year, so that was his first miss. But it was that was crazy that he missed it. But that was kind of the wash there.
Well, you look at Indiana now, and Tom, they get a little bit of a downtime.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to wait the winner of Oklahoma and Alabama, so they get some downtime now. How healthy are they though coming out of this Big Ten championship game? I'm sure Kurt Signetti is going to love the fact that they get a little bit of downtime to rest and mentally heal a little bit. But how healthy is Indiana?
For the most part, pretty good. They got out of the game well enough that when I asked Kurt yesterday about that, he basically said that anybody who got dinged up in that game will be 100% ready to go in 3.5 weeks. I mean, they have the luxury of the bye will come in. The biggest one was Omar Cooper Jr., their wide receiver, had a little calf issue early in the game and did not play the rest of the game. And he's, of course, for your listeners, he's the kid who made that great catch in the end zone at Penn State, and he's been a top, 2 threat all year long. Really, really good player. He did not play at all in that game. And then kid Charlie Becker, who's from Nashville, Tennessee, Father Ryan High School, he stepped in a huge way earlier this year when Elijah Surratt was hurt, and then stepped right in yesterday, had a huge catch down the field for 51 yards that set up the go-ahead drive, and then also made a great catch on the third down to seal the game. But they're hoping to have Cooper back, and E.J. Williams, who used to play at Clemson and has been in Indiana for a few years, he's been banged up a little bit too, and they expect him to be back as well. They expect come January 1 to be 100% healthy, which is that's saying something at the end of a football season, because you all well know, with what Alabama's just gone through here in the last few weeks, like to have a full healthy roster this time of year is pretty amazing.
Well, and what give us your thoughts on Coach Signetti's reaction? I mean, certainly, I know he was extremely happy for the IU family and to win this, but what is his thoughts on the certainly playing in the Rose Bowl, which will be historic for Indiana, and then getting the winner of Oklahoma and Alabama?
Yes, I mean he is very process driven. He's certainly learned that from Nick Saban, and he will never let himself get too far ahead here. And he won't say it, but I'll say it for him. This bracket could not have worked out any better for Indiana, I don't think, because Alabama simply cannot run the ball at all anymore. And I don't see how they could, if they beat Oklahoma, which is a very big if. I mean, having to play at Norman at night in the first round is not going to be an easy thing for Alabama. But I do think Alabama's the better team. But you guys watch them closely. I mean, Alabama can get beaten by anybody, and they got beat by Florida State. And it's I think that'll be a slugfest that will come down to whichever defense creates a turnover and gets a few for short fields. But Indiana loves this bracket, because I think a lot, they want to have the opportunity to play and win against, the blue bloods of this sport, and if they get Alabama or Oklahoma, I mean, it's, the actual national championships and the claimed national championships. I mean, you're between those two schools, you're talking about 25-something national championships. So for Indiana to be able to play either of those two teams on a national stage like the Rose Bowl is incredible. And obviously, from my perspective, because of all of the Indiana ties on that Alabama coaching staff and strength and conditioning staff, I would dearly love for it to be Indiana and Alabama, where we get to hang out with both of those teams for 3 or 4 days in Pasadena. Would be very cool.
And I know your feeling, and I'm pretty sure I know your feeling, and I'm pretty sure we know the rest of Indiana's feeling, fans' feeling, is that Fernando Mendoza did his best to wrap up or put himself at that top spot for the Heisman Trophy with that win over Ohio State.
I think so. I mean, I have, a Heisman vote myself, and we're not supposed to say who we voted for, but I mean, I think
yes, we know.
When you are the quarterback of the number one ranked team in the country that never lost a game all year, and you are accountable for more touchdowns than any quarterback in the country, and you have, you played well all year, I will be very, very surprised if Fernando Mendoza is the first Indiana player to ever win a Heisman Trophy, and
Wow.
we'll find out Saturday night, of course. But I think certainly, thanks to his Indiana brothers on defense, he won the beauty contest with Julian Sayans Saturday night. I don't think there was any question about that. And then it's like, well, who's left? Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, did not play this weekend and didn't play much the previous two. To me, Pavia from Vanderbilt would be the only other person in consideration, and I still think there's a difference between those two there as well. But yeah, I'll be stunned if Fernando Mendoza doesn't win the Heisman Trophy. And we joke about Indiana being a basketball school, and Fernando Mendoza is going to win Heisman Trophy while Indiana and Kentucky are tipping it off in basketball on Saturday night. And it'll be one of those things where Indiana fans will flip over to the Heisman Trophy real quick, see that he wins, and get right back to basketball.
Well, and Tom, I've got to ask too, because I read your column and I wanted you to kind of educate our listeners. But how cool was it to be woven in for the Deal family to see this all happen and unfold after what they've meant to Indiana football?
Absolutely, it's just like Mark Deal and I. Mark we went to school together, basically. So I've known Mark since I was a student, and his family history is just amazing. I mean, his father, Russ, played on Indiana's 1945 Big Ten championship team. His brother, Mike, played on Indiana's 1967 Big Ten championship team. And, and now here Indiana finally gets the third Big Ten title. And, Mark he's been around this program for 50 years. He has been in charge of alumni things and football things and and was a coach for a long time. And he is basically in charge of the old Oaken Bucket when Indiana beats Purdue and gets to keep that thing. It's always Mark Steele who has it in his arms to deliver it to the Hoosiers. And he's Indiana football through and through, and he has a great family. And I loved his line, the other night, with his dad and his brother. He says at Christmas, he'll finally get to sit at the grown-up table because he'll finally have a Big Ten title of his own after all these years. And things like that are great. And things like for Don Fisher, the great play-by-play guy of Indiana. He's been doing Indiana football and basketball for 52 years.
Wow.
To be able to he did the basketball game Saturday afternoon and then walked over and did the football game too. And
that's so cool.
All of that is just the coolest thing ever. And like for a lot of those Indiana fans that have been season ticket holders for 25 to 30 years, who've sat through a lot of really bad football, to just be there to enjoy it and experience it. It's not a generational thing. It's literally a once in a lifetime thing. 13 wins never happened before. Number one in the country never happened before. And now certainly they need to prove it 3 more times, but they have an opportunity to win a national championship in football, which just still, I find that very hard to say. It's just unbelievable, but they've got a shot. I'm not saying they're the favorite, and I'm not saying they're the best team in the country, and I'm not saying they're going to cruise through all 3 of these games. But if Indiana plays well 3 games in a row, they're going to be the national champions.
I guess old Lee Corso was right back in the day when he said, "Indiana,
I hope Lee is there.
You
in the
can
Rose
win
Bowl.
a national title.
I know he's
Indiana.
retired, but it would be Tom. It would be so cool to have Lee there.
Well, he absolutely will. Terry Talon, who was part of the 1979 Holiday Bowl team that a lot of people considered Indiana's best team that Corso coached. He and Coach Corso are great friends, and the only full hour-long podcast that Leo Corso ever did was with Terry and I, and he talked to Coach Corso yesterday, and I think Coach is going to make every effort to be out there. And a lot of the guys from the 1967 Rose Bowl team that are still with us, thankfully are all, I think the school is going to make an effort to try to get a lot of them there too. And, it's just, and then of course the Rose Bowl is the Rose Bowl. It's a special place, period. And just to be part of all of that, it's just going to be tremendous. So come on, Crimson Tide, make sure you're there with us.
Well, I've had the chance. So. I've had the chance to be out there for 2 Rose Bowls, Alabama and Texas, and Auburn and Florida State. And I'm just telling you, if you could just bottle that up and make that a permanent home for any kind of playoff game, it is just a remarkable place to do a game.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, I remember the Auburn Florida State game well too, because I have two kids who went to Florida State, and
that's right.
My oldest daughter was not part of for her 4 years at Florida State from 2005 to 2009 weren't great. So when when Florida State was playing for that national title, well, I kind of wanted to go, and I said, you know what? Here's my cash. You go. You need to experience that. And she still to this day says it's her all-time favorite sports moment. So it's So I can't. I've never been to the Rose Bowl. I've never.
That's awesome, man.
The path of what I was covering, obviously, I worked at the St. Petersburg Times in Florida. When I graduated from Indiana, so a lot of my time there was covering Florida and Florida State and Miami in their runs. And they, back in the 80s and 90s, so they weren't part of the Rose Bowl. So I've never been. So I'm,
take a jacket.
My credential. And I'll tell you.
Take a jacket, because when that sun goes down, it gets a little chilly. It gets a little. I mean, for us, it does. It gets a little chilly there at the Rose Bowl.
Well, regardless, we're going to definitely reconnect with you when you go down there to cover it, and we look forward to speaking with you again. And this has been really cool to watch Indiana, make this run, and it's good for college football, no doubt about it. But Tom, we appreciate it, and let everybody know how to continue to follow your coverage.
Yeah, just best ways at Twitter at Tom Brew Sports. I'm the national editor-in-chief of Roundtable now, so I do a lot of national things too. But everything I write, whether it's on an Indiana team page or our college sites or anything else, I share it all on Twitter, so it's all right there. So just follow me there on Twitter at Tom Brew Sports. And,
thank you, sir.
We'll keep up with all this. We're ready for a great run here through the playoffs.
No doubt.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, sir.
We got to get a break in. When we come back, phone lines filling back up. We'll go back out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
8:25 on a Monday morning, talking ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Rudy Arman. Happy Monday morning, everyone. Phone lines have been pretty active today, as you might imagine. Everyone reacting to the college football playoff bracket and rankings, the ones that matter the most, released yesterday morning. And let's go back out to the phone lines. B. Rich is with us on a Monday. Good morning, sir.
What up, brother?
Good morning, fellas. How are y'all today?
We're doing well. We recovered from Phillip.
Yep, man, that was a rough way to start the show, fellas. Like, I didn't see that one coming. I figured there would be a lot of irrational thoughts, but I didn't see that one coming. But I'll tell you, when I knew he was going to lose me, he's like, well, I call in a bunch to Tom's show. And I was like, well, that explains most of it right there. So, anyways, don't even get me started on that. But, hey, fellas, here's a realization I've come to after this weekend. You guys know I bleed crimson and how much I've got invested and lifelong fan and all that kind of stuff. I'm coming to the realization that I just dislike the majority of our fan base. And I get why we are so hated by the national college football fans. I mean, we have some of the most arrogant, entitled, privileged, and just some of them are just flat out, downright, just unknowledgeable fans I've ever seen in my life. All they care about is what that final score says. I mean, it's just, I mean, the main thing is to get in the game, just to get in the playoffs. We got a seat at the table. And if you lose sight of that, I just don't know what in today's college football, I just don't know what the hell you expect. It's unrealistic to expect 15 or 16-0 anymore. If you take into account all the factors, you want to play a tough schedule, all this kind of stuff, and they want to go 15 and 16-0, and they want to beat everybody 55-0. I mean, it's what the hell are we doing? One other little minor complaint I have is you've got some regular callers that call into this show, and they're like, hey, Drew, why don't we play A.K. Deer more? A.K. Deer's got home run speed. Well, let me tell you about A.K. Deer and what all these coaches see at practice. They put A.K. Deer in the SEC championship game, and Ty goes to hand him the ball, and A.K. Deer runs the wrong way. Ty has to run out to the left and take a 5-yard loss. Then A.K. Deer with his 4.2 speed drops a wide open swing pass. You don't think that the coaches see this stuff at practice? Yeah. I mean, that's why A.K. Deer's not playing. So quit hollering for every damn freshman that's, ranked a 5-star to immediately play. Some of them take a little time to develop. God, it just drives me crazy.
It reminds me of last season when Texas fans were complaining because Arch Manning was not playing at quarterback.
And Quinn Ewers
was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. They're there in practice. You think Sark doesn't know what good quarterback play looks like? My God. It's not. know I'm picking on Alabama fans, and you brought up a great point, Scott. It's, Texas was bitching about it too and all that kind of stuff. But everybody wants to fall in love with the next new big shiny toy and all that kind of stuff. But trust what these guys are seeing in practice, and trust these coaches. It's obvious that Alabama's in a little bit of a funk right now offensively. It's obvious. Just chill the hell out. Let this team get healthy. What we needed is time, and we've got a little bit of time right now. So just trust these guys a little bit, man. Hang in there.
All right, B-Rich, thanks for the phone
Great call, bro.
All right, let's try to get in two more here real fast. Pat from Tuscaloosa is with us. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Pat.
Guys, what do we know about LT Overton's injury? Is it
It's not an injury.
Or is it something that's going to knock him out for the rest of the season? I'm worried to death.
He won't, I will be very surprised if he plays again. It's not an injury. It's a medical condition.
I know what his issue is. It's a possible clot. And
it's not.
If it's isolated, a clot buster can knock it out. Be done with it.
Don't think so, though. I think it's a little bit more severe than that. I think LT's done a lot of great things for Alabama. They're going to have some other guys step it up.
Gotcha. Yep. But hopefully we get Collins back healthy.
No doubt.
All right.
All right,
thanks, Pat.
All right, let's slip in. Let's get Matt real fast. Good morning, Matt.
What's up, Matt?
What's going on, guys? Just got a quick question about the Lane train in Baton Rouge.
Sure.
I'm interested to see what stays the same, what he decides to take with him to Baton Rouge, and you care to comment on the spring training? I mean, he can't do a hot dog eating contest in Baton Rouge, right? It's got to be corn dogs.
Yeah, I would think so.
It was funny. Pete Golding had a press conference yesterday. He did a video teleconference or whatever.
We need the dump button for that.
And he said that as soon as he found out that he was going to be elevated to the head coaching position or whatever, that he had to get his ass off the couch and run into the offensive room and start basically securing coaches to stay.
Right.
Because he knew Lane was going to try to raid the closet. Yeah. So his first job was to leave the couch there at the office and run into the offensive staff room and try to keep as many guys as he could.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, Pete, I think is the exact opposite to what we're accustomed to with Lane Kiffin in Oxford. I mean, I loved what he said during the press conference. He said all the right things. I even loved the comment about he's not a yoga guy and he's not going to change anything, not going to change his appearance. I mean, he's going to stay the same. So I'm rooting for him. I really hope he succeeds.
Well, I certainly do. I'll root for him every time he coaches against Lane Kiffin.
Matt, thanks for the phone call.
Thank you, sir.
And I know we were short there, but we had to try to get him in, and because we got to get a break in, because when we come back, Ryan Fowler is going to join the program. We'll get his thoughts on the mood in Tuscaloosa, and Kalen DeBoer had a teleconference yesterday as well. We'll get to Ryan Fowler next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. Temperatures fall to below freezing for this Monday night. We'll see lows fall into the upper 20s for the overnight. Heading into our Tuesday, we warm into the low 50s for the afternoon. Expect to see plenty of sunshine. Tuesday night, temperatures a little warmer, mid-30s. Will continue a clear sky.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. And with our Workhorse Special promotion, That new 255 CTL is just $73,655, but it's only good through December 31st. Prices increase in January, so lock in your savings now and take advantage of year-end tax benefits to maximize your investment. Don't wait. The best time to buy that new Cat 255 is today. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answer Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month, up to $15 at participating locations. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. In New Market and Hampton Cove, and our new location, now open in Hartselle at 200 Main Street West, downtown.
Listen to the Alabama Football Recap Show every Sunday at 11. Smoked by Dreamland Barbecue. Ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. On 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Georgia. Georgia. The whole day through. Just an old sweet song. Keeps Georgia on my mind.
Well, I don't know if Alabama wants to have Georgia on their mind right now, moving forward.
Training room, then on to the Sooners.
Yeah, training room, a big one. That's the key for Alabama right now. Get healthy before you travel to take on Norman in the opening round of the college football playoffs. You got a little bit of time. You'll play on Friday the 19th, not on Saturday. You're going to play on Friday the 19th, but still a few days there for the Tide to get better, get healed, I should say. You're not going to get 100%. There's no way any team's going to be 100% this point in the season. Your goal is just to be good enough to get a win.
Yeah, and then it's going to be interesting because Alabama's had the unfortunate, bad, mojo from the standpoint of they've been getting a lot of guys hurt in practice. It is the way it is what it is. But that's why I don't call Alabama a soft team. They're a physical team. They've had some injuries, including Josh Cuevas, who's still recovering. I still think it's probably long odds that he's going to play. But we're going to discuss this playoff berth for Alabama, which to me shows that Kalen DeBoer had a successful second season at Alabama thus far. We'll see how it ends. But he gets them to the playoff. He got them to the SEC championship game, and we're going to discuss that and more with Ryan Fowler. He is, of course, part of Tide 109. He's host of the game. He will have a lot of conversation going on from 2 to 6 this afternoon, but we wanted to bring him in and get his thoughts on the University of Alabama getting back into this and the first time in the expanded college football playoff. Ryan, welcome back to your native North Alabama. You were Drew and Scott. Good morning.
Yeah, I called in sick this morning. I hope the guys down here don't hear me. I hope somebody else is going to have to host the show this morning. Got a real bad sore.
Uh-oh. Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just this cold. I I'm trying to sell it my boss where I don't have to come in and listen to everybody complaining, but I'm going to
Notre Dame fans. You don't want. I mean, those Notre Dame fans are going to call and complain.
Are you channeling your inner Irish there, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I just, Lord, I guess I am a little soft. I'm thinking trying to be sick because, I mean, could you imagine what I'm going to have to deal with this afternoon? Woo, glory. And I know you guys have already dealt with it yesterday on the Bama Recap show. And then, but I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. It's good, bad, and ugly. The good is you're in, right?
Yes.
The bad is that you played like crap, but I mean, you can explain those. I think Drew and Scott, you guys were talking about the injuries a couple of minutes ago. Keep in mind, those are the ones that we know about.
Right.
Yeah.
There's several that they had to deal with, that guys that just had to go because they had to go, right? I mean, there was no other options. And this is where, did you guys hear Kirby's rant on the ninth game?
I did, yes.
He's now become the voice of college football, right? Because they look to him, Dabo has drifted. I mean, right now, I guess you could say Ryan Day too, but really Kirby is more outspoken about the technical terms. And Kirby, he's not afraid to throw the commissioner under the bus and back over him. And I mean, he did that last year with a strength of schedule when we're on the championship stage. So he's got a point when we go to non-conference games, and then you're required to play a Power 5 team. When you look at that in the SEC, guys, that's a tough schedule. I mean,
that's 10.
And for those out there
10.
going, yeah. And think about it, man. That's 10 games, non-conference games. You're probably going to play I think Alabama next year. The non-conference is what's it? Florida State, and then South Florida. There's another one in there too that's difficult. Maybe it's West Virginia, but it's I mean, listen, some of these teams cannot be world beaters as we saw with Florida State, but at the end of the day, you got to suit up and play. And the depth issue is the biggest concern. Is you see it depleted. I mean, you saw it with Kirby. He talked about his football team being so beat up. You almost wonder, regardless of what happened with Alabama getting in the SEC title game, if that could possibly go away. Like, could we see ourselves 4 to 5 years down the road and that SEC championship not have the value that maybe it once did? I think we could.
Well, and overall, too, what did you think of the committee? I actually thought they got it right. I thought that Alabama would be penalized. I thought they would drop back to 10. I thought Notre Dame would be 9. But they kept Alabama at 9, which I thought was fair with the schedule that they played. And while I thought Notre Dame deserved to be in and James Madison out, these are the rules that they made that they had to go by. And when you compare Miami and Notre Dame, it's the simple fact that, 1988 lost to the Canes.
Well, it's kind of like giving a med school admission test, to the guy that's got the MCAT of like 25 and everybody else has got 35, and you're going, yeah, come on in. I mean, come on. Nobody can eyes be fooled, but as you said, it's the criteria, right? I mean, it's the criteria when you look at it. But I bet you, and you can also look at this committee's decision impacts not just the college football playoffs, but hear me out. I also think that it impacts the rule structure that we're going to have this offseason with this committee. I think it's the 21st is when they get back to a deadline and they figure out which teams, because you satisfied Greg Sankey with 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he can't complain where he gets his so many tie-ins for the conference because you just got 5. But the committee satisfied him. They satisfied the group of 5 because they get a vote at the table how we go to 16 and why and all these different things. So you satisfied the group of 5 with 2 teams in the playoffs. You told Notre Dame to go join a conference. I mean, that's what you told them yesterday.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
That's what you – yeah. So you told them that. But then you also covered for championship games. And I'm not saying they're going to do away with them. I just wonder if they could possibly change format, somehow maybe there's a play-in game. Maybe that final spot goes to, the winner of a play-in game. I mean, line up Texas and Vanderbilt and go at it. And, but I think that committee also they govern based on the future conversations that we're going to have about the structure of how we get to college football playoffs. And I think they satisfied several people and made some people mad that may poke them in the butt a little bit and get up to work and do a little something different.
Alabama travels to Oklahoma in this one. And, Ryan, there was a lot of talk before the season that Alabama had to get in to the playoffs. They needed to get into the playoffs. Kalen DeBoer needed to get into the playoffs. If Alabama is one and done with the way they played in the SEC championship game and go back one further, though they didn't look all that impressive at times in Jordan Air against Auburn, what's the narrative then around this Alabama team if they go to Norman and play like they did in Atlanta?
Well, it definitely will be I don't want to say uncomfortable, but it possibly could be, right? I mean, you got to go beat a team that you're a favorite against. I understand. I mean, you get a chance to revenge something that happened just a month ago. So now's a chance where you can go and try to find a way to get a win. He needs a win, right? I mean, you need to go and beat this team. 0-3 in Oklahoma, not in Oklahoma, but against Oklahoma. That's something that would create, I don't want to say concerns, but it would create some noise for the offseason. That there would be a lot of expectations, but I'm like through. I checked that box of this season being successful with a college football playoff entrance, understanding that, listen, the average person out there probably doesn't understand that there was five starters that was out, 3 on offense. And then, at some point, Justin Jefferson went down, Xavier Brown went down. That's where I'm worried because the college football playoffs, guys, we're about to start something. I think if Alabama, so they play 13, you win 4 more games, and you got to play 17 games.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing that, the physicality of the SEC, and you're also doing that because the SEC was behind on those scholarship limitations. Now, they have now since on Friday, they will go to, I guess, at some point, 105. So that will help because that's an entire signing class. I mean, that's a pretty big, significant jump from 85 to 105. But, I mean, they're beat up. I mean, but that, Jeff Allen's going to have to pull a miracle to kind of get some of these guys back. And if anybody can do it, he'll be the guy.
Yeah, and but I will say, and I know you listened to Kalen DeBoer yesterday as well. It does sound like they could get several guys back. I still have doubts about Cuevas.
Well, I did until late last night. I got a phone call that maybe he's ahead of schedule than what they thought it would be. So there is
that's encouraging.
Doing, and I'm not saying now hear me out. Now everybody's going to run with that.
No.
But I think that when you talk to people, they think that there's a chance to get Josh Cuevas back. That the injury may be healing a little bit faster, and I've never actually heard exactly what it was. So, but I think he's moving he's trending in the right way. If this trends, he's got a chance. He's got a chance. Now, obviously, Jam Miller, Kalen DeBoer talking about Jam Miller, would be a guy that would be able to, probably go in this situation. So I think Jam's obviously going to be one of those guys. Cam Dewberry's going to be able to come back with a left guard side of things, but you need some help in that pass protection. And, you look back and you see AK Deer run the wrong way, and I tell you that was frustrating to watch in game number 13. And I know Kalen DeBoer kind of ripped his butt on the sidelines, but Robert Gillespie, you're going to have to spend some time getting your backs just a little bit ready. I know you can't, turn everybody into Herschel Walker, but, it's You got a Dre Washington. We haven't really seen a lot of him. Is he a guy? And I wonder if Kevin Riley would have a chance at point to get back. Could he be a guy that could give you a few carries? Because he is kind of that change of pace, a little bit of speed guy. But biggest thing is Ty's got to get back on track. And, I'm sure coming out of this schedule, he's probably pretty beat up. Spend a lot of time in that treatment room trying to get back to as close to 100%. I heard Scott coming into it. Nobody's going to be 100%. He's right. But try to get to it as close as you possibly can. So they miss Josh Cuevas, though, man. He was a safety outlet for them, and there's been really nobody that's really stepped up in that role. And they block like freshmen. I mean, they did. Caleb Edwards and Marshall Pritchard. They block like freshmen. They've not developed the physicality of that style of the game. And hey, most tight ends at the college game, at the high school game, if you're that talented, you're going to be out there catching passes. You're probably not going to be working on the fundamentals of blocking a ton, and that shows because their physicality really lacks, especially against a team like Georgia.
Yeah, it really did. It was a bad matchup, but certainly, and it's going to be a big 2 weeks because Jeremy Bernard, who hadn't made that many mistakes, but he's been banged up. He needs to get healthier, and then R-Dub, it's time for the jugs gun, dog. A lot of it.
And yeah, I can't think of a player. Maybe you guys can help me. That I've been more disappointed with in second season than Ryan.
The $1.8 million man. Yep.
Yeah, I look at it and I can understand all the injuries at the beginning. Changing him, played it more in the slot. I get all those different rebuttals, but it's been a little frustrating. It's been a little frustrating to watch your superstar just go non-existent at times. And I know that, but he's a guy that's going to have to find some of that weight room, and he's going to have to put some bulk on. Just physicality. This season has grinded him down, probably even more so than his freshman season. And I know he's taken some hits, but Rod Williams, they're going to need you if Alabama's going to make a little bit of a run of this playoff. But I do like Alabama's setup. I don't think. Unless you want to play Tulane or James Madison, which you didn't earn the privilege of doing there, you really, you've got a pretty good, easier road than some because you're going to go up against two teams that's probably not going to score a ton of points, and you feel like that your defense can come back to that championship caliber defense. I think the road getting there is, I'm not saying getting to the play, but just making a little bit of a run. Go win Oklahoma. Go play great against Indiana out the Rose Bowl. And who knows? But I like your pathway to do some damage in this college football playoff. So we'll see if Alabama can return to what looked like a deep playoff team at one point. Now they look like a team that could be one and done.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting and a lot of conversation on the game later today. Well, Ryan, thank you for taking the time, man. I know you had a busy weekend and everybody did, and I know it'll be, they're probably already on hold, but I know you'll have a great show later this afternoon, and we always appreciate the time, brother.
Yeah, we're actually going out right now. I'm headed out to high school football signing. We got
cool
Hayes Formby, which is Wilkins' brother, is going to be signing with Ty Simpson's dad. So it's like a family
UT Martin, man.
Down here. So, yeah, he's going up to UT Martin. So I'm friends with the Formbys and going to go out and support Hayes as he signs his scholarship papers this morning. But I appreciate you guys as always, man. Thank you guys so much. And we'll talk about it very, very soon. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And congrats to the Formby family. Yep.
Tell you what, let's just stay, Brody, we're just going to stay here real fast. Let's slip in Grumpy on the phone lines real fast this morning. Been a busy morning. Let's try to get them all in, but let's get Grumpy real fast on the phones. Good morning, Grumpy.
Morning.
Hey, real quick here.
Sure.
Let's just say 2% of your growth. I don't want to know what y'all make a living, but just think in your head, what is about 2% of what you make? And keep that in the back of your mind. I'm going to revisit that in just a second. Okay, teams like James Madison, you're not going to get rid of them, right? Because of legal issues. They need access to the big bite at the pie or whatever. So we're going to have to deal with those people. And so So let's get over the James Madison getting in because they're going to get in. So what can you do about it? You've got 4 more spots there. You could add 4 more teams and not push this chronologically any longer than it already is. By getting rid of the buys, I don't think that a team should be rewarded with a bye. A number 1 team should be rewarded with playing number 16. Now, I don't think they already have an advantage because they're better teams. They probably have a better program. They've got more talent, and you're giving them a week off. What you're doing is you're promoting another blowout. You're doing everything you can to give the higher teams an advantage and more rest, and you're going to wind up with a worse ball game and worse football, in my opinion. Now, the 2%, if you could give up 2% of your salary, would you – if your team lost, let's say you had a top 4 team, and if you could give up 2% of your salary, that team would lose, but you would get 2% more in your salary. Would you take that deal? Would you sell 1 loss of your team for your 2% of your salary?
I mean, I'll just say this, Grumpy. I think you're on the right track. I think they're going to be 16. I think that's the way we're going. I think everybody understands that, and I agree with you that there doesn't need to be buys. There just needs to be 16 teams to get in, and I think there'll be one group of 6. But I think the James Madison situation where they have that clause where you had the 5 conference champions,
highest ranked conference champions,
they'll get rid of that.
Well, but before you think I'm all crazy about what's this guy doing with his 2%, is those hotel rooms are going to book up. Those restaurants are going to book up to host the team. And there goes 2% of some hotels' overhead. There goes 2% of some restaurants' money for the year. And then you're going to have all those kids in the bars and the restaurants making money slinging steaks and burgers. Yep. You're penalizing a team by giving them a bye, really. You're not penalizing the team. You're penalizing the fan base,
community,
and the town. Thanks.
Yeah, if you had the 16 right now, you would have Indiana hosting James Madison.
Right.
Ohio State would have hosted Tulane.
Yeah.
A&M would have hosted Miami as a 7-10. Georgia would have hosted Vanderbilt as a 3-14. Ole Miss would have hosted Notre Dame as a 6-11 matchup. Oregon would have hosted BYU. Texas Tech would have hosted Texas. And Oklahoma still would have hosted Alabama. That would have been a 16-team playoff.
And then Phillips' head would have exploded because there would have been 7 SEC teams.
Still, though, but I'm just saying, though, that's a good 16 matchup.
Sorry, that's the best football. Just keep living in Yankee land, bruh. And watching the NFL.
Grumpy, thanks for the phone call.
Thank you,
We're
Grumpy.
out of time.
That was a good call.
That was, look, we had an idiotic phone call to start the show.
And then
we had a smart phone call to end the show. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
2 hours is done. We've had fun. We're at Bill Penny Toyota. We'll be back tomorrow in studio.
I'll probably be back.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-Passenger